Welcome everyone to episode 53 and year number 2 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pentellaresco. I write stuff and podcast too. And it's been a hell of a start to a new year. Well, we have hit quite a few things. First things first. Um, I got some success as a publicist. I should go through this. My client, Craig DeLuise, had some good news. He just had his book, Suffered with Children, option for a movie. He seems confident it's going to get done, and like I said, I'll let you know more as time goes on. In the meantime, you can check out his books, Crash Dive and Silent Running, his ebook series. He reads, honestly, to me, kind of like what Heinlein would write if Heinlein was actually writing war stories. World War II, submarines, Honor Horatio. It's great stuff. It's in the Honor Horatio vein, I should say. It's really, really good stuff. It reads really quick. Good plot, incredibly well researched. Craig kills it. I suggest you start with Crash Dive, Silent Running's Book 2, and Book 3 comes out this November. You can find Craig at craigdeluie.com, CraigDilouie.com. Sign up for his newsletter, say hello, review one of his books. Just, do that. My other client, Chris Mars, has the book coming out in November as well. I'm going to have the name of it for the next podcast. But yeah, she's doing well as well. You should check her out on her website. World Wide Web.hauntedmars, HAUNTEDMARRS.com. Sign up for her newsletter. Say hello. She's awesome, super talented, and I'll be announcing more of her stuff next week. It's been busy. I've been writing up a storm. Did my first real short story for a prose thing. I got some other things I need to finish, and to the point where tonight I'm actually going to be taking it easy once this podcast is finished. But now we're into year 2, and we're doing what we did with year 1. And I started year 1 with When Words Collide interviews, and year 2 I figured we should be on the same thing. There's going to be some new. I've already kind of officially released one. Diane Walton is from When Words Collide, but she was kind of a special case in the sense that OnSpec really needed support, and I was doing the right thing there, so I figured I'd do that one a little early. But the rest of them start this week. We start with an old favorite. Ella Beaumont returns to the podcast, and she's now the main marketing executive for her husband, or soon-to-be husband, I should say, Ron Bender, with her White Sand saga, which starts at the end of this month. It's cool stuff, and I get to talk to her about that and how she did buying acquisitions there. But before I get to that, I want to talk about fear. Maybe I should probably begin by saying this. Maybe I'm reading one too many Green Lantern comics. Maybe it just took a while for it to fully sink in. But I've been hearing a lot about living in the moment this whole summer, and I never really bought into living in the moment, to be honest with you, completely. Don't get me wrong, you gotta enjoy the moments that are there, and that's, I think, what living in the moment is ultimately all about. But by and large, I always thought that was some kind of excuse to not plan anything. I do plans because I want to have time with as many different people as possible and see them and do their thing. And that's kind of been my thing for the last little bit, is I want to make sure I'm seeing and doing things that need to happen. And as a general rule of thumb, I kind of still think that way by and large. But over the summer, I've modified this stance a little bit, and I know what you're thinking. What the hell does this have to do with fear? And because fear is, to me, fear is the ultimate expression of living in the moment, and I want to explain this in great detail. It's okay to be afraid. I think the idea of a fearless person is something that's not human. I'm scared all the time when I do things. I'm scared when I go up and read a book. I'm scared when I write a story and submit it. I don't know if they'll like it. I don't know if they'll hate it. I mean, you're just getting critiqued, and even just getting a critique, like I just handed in this one story. It's nerve wracking because I'm going to be looked at from professionals and other people that want to view my work, and that to me is, kind of terrifying. But the thing about fear, is, man, you don't feel any more alive than when you're dealing with fear. When you're in the moment where you're afraid, I mean, everything's just racing quicker, your heart's moving, everything is just going 3,920 miles an hour. You're just more aware of what's going on in that exact moment than you are any other point. One of the interviews you're going to see down the road, I talk about how he thrives on fear, and I bring this up because I think that's the real key. There are lots of things that scare us, I think, in this world, and some of them rightfully so. That said, the only true way I think to live in the moment is to actually face your fears, because only then, I mean, that's the only time you're really, everything is about right then, right there, right now, and that's the crux. I look at it like it's the crux of the matter. It has nothing to do with anything else. To me, it just feels like a pale reflection of that. It's what you're scared of. It's the only time you're really, truly, fully in the moment, when you're facing those moments and trying to move past them. And fear to me has become being stuck in a moment, in that position where you are hurt, in that position where, you were in pain, that position where you were alone, that position where you felt less than what you are. And I think the only way to move past those moments is to embrace them. And that, to me, I think is what living in the moment is all about. It's not about, doing the things you're called to, just with no plan, no reason, no rhyme. That's not me. Don't get me wrong, there's a place for spontaneity, there's a place for being, going with the flow and riding the wave wherever it's going to take you. That's important too. But I truly think that living in the moment deals with, facing your fears, whatever they are, and confronting them and coming away from them stronger than you are. I don't think fear goes away. I think there's always those moments in our life when we're vulnerable. What am I afraid of? I think I'll think a level with you guys. One of the things I'm afraid of is, being abandoned by people I love. It's happened to me before. And, whenever someone goes away and someone, just doesn't, not hear from them for a while, but just when you're with someone you care about and you find that they're just not there for whatever reason, there's always that little thought in the back of my mind of, am I alone? I mean, it's an irrational thought, but it's there nonetheless. So facing my fears every time I confront this question with people is something I need to do. It's only I'll move past those moments I had when I was abandoned. And, like I said, it's just knowing thyself and becoming free and moving past those moments in life. Because it's the only way we grow. Anyway, food for thought. If you guys agree, disagree, let me know. Beyond that, let's get to Ella Beaumont here right after this message. Tired of buying t-shirts, coffee cups, and other memorabilia that all podcasts seem to have? I sincerely hope not, because I'm jumping aboard this gravy train right now. That's right. You can be the proud owner of a Just Joshing t-shirt, photographic print, and coffee cup at my Redbubble store. Redbubble has one-click ordering and will ship anywhere in North America. Check out http://worldwideweb.redbubble.com/people/jpenteloresco for more details. Alright, so I'm going to turn it on now. So, but no, it's just, I'm sorry, I had to say what I say. So now,
So to my left is Ella Beaumont. She was on the podcast last year. This will be a better quality, sound quality one this year. But you're still number 5 all time, believe it or not. Which
That's
is
pretty impressive.
Yeah, people respected the hell out of it. I mean, I'm going to actually thank Michael Martinick on here already, just because
he's a great guy.
Yeah, no, he supported the podcast more. I think
he's very underrated. In fact, you should check out his book, The Milkman, especially if you like cyberpunk.
Yeah. Actually, I did. I coined something, Anarchy Gone Awry. That's actually how he should market that book.
Yeah, that's a good way to market that.
Yeah. So, I think I lost my calling somewhere else in this life, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. So, you were acquisitions editor at Edge.
Yeah.
So
I was part of the. I was the main partner who helped launch the Edge Light program.
Yeah.
Which was Edge's answer to the changing in the publishing industry. So the concept was to go lighter and reduce overhead, but also be more liquid and reactive to the adjustments in what are happening in the book industry. So ebooks was the big push for that.
Okay, so my thing is, my thing with you is, you've accomplished a lot there. So why leave?
It was time to look to my own needs, really. It comes down to being very selfish and deciding, you know what, I actually do need to pay rent, and unfortunately,
that's not
as
selfish. That's really not that selfish.
As an editor in this business, it can be very hard to balance what you want to do for emotional reasons, for community reasons, and to still earn an income. And I found out that I don't really want to do exclusively freelance editing. I was always more about fostering a relationship with authors, seeing something in them that I could determine was potential, and then polishing that potential and handing it to the world and making it shine. And so Edge was a really, really amazing opportunity for me to practice those skills and to perform those tasks. And at some point I came to the conclusion that I was actually at a crossroads. I needed to adjust my approach and work on my fiance's work, as you know, he actually did meet all of those parameters.
That's awesome. So basically, you're still going to be an editor at this point? Is that more of a freelance kind of, or more of a consultant kind?
Consultant. I would say probably if the cards come up right in the future, I'll be definitely filling more of a consultant role as opposed to an editorial role, and that does definitely meet my goals of improving people and helping them get their dreams published and out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a publisher, and I don't want to just be the person in the background fixing the grammar errors. I definitely need to be something else.
No. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a hard one. Outside of your fiance, because this is strictly on, what book of Edge are you most proud of doing?
That would probably be. That's a question. Europa Journal, definitely, because it was the first one. I think I worked the hardest on that one. Jack Castle is an amazing guy. He's very good at presenting himself, promoting himself, and he's got a professional hunger. He is really hungry. He has a goal and a dream to be very big. And he writes in a way that's very engaging, full of passion and pacing, and really great tension. He knows how to connect with readers, but it's like popcorn, right? It's not got a lot of literary merit. It's just there to tell a good story. And taking that on was, I could see it. I could see how it would resonate with readers, and I wanted that. And the trick then became how to make something that was still it was still rough, and to get down to the core and to make it what it could be. And I think, based on time constraints, it still could have been better. Like I still look at that and go, I could have done better. But given how much time I had to do it and how hard I worked to get it done in the time frame that I had, I am really, really proud of that project.
Well, yeah, and you're always going to be unhappy no matter how good the project is.
Yeah,
because,
I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah,
that's kind of how that goes.
Well, it's just what every author seeks that, every editor seeks that, and I think any artist seeks that. I think I think the moment you become actually relatively competent in your field is when you actually realize there are things missing. Like I look at my book Storm Dancer, there are parts that still bother me. Just like, ugh, I missed that. But it's just one of those things where you just go, you know what, that's it. That's where you were then. The next one will be better, kind of deal. So you have now this big background, not just editing, but you do copy, you do marketing.
Yeah, designing. I put together the covers for Ron's books.
Nice.
So all of the artistic design work for that, and improving my typography skills, although there's still room for improvement there. I'm just in the last week have been teaching myself how to design websites and do coding, because I don't have a clue how to do that. Well, still don't have a clue how to do that, but it's starting to look pretty polished and put together, so I'm getting excited.
If it makes you feel better, I used to do coding on Notepad. I used to do like the old school Notepad. I still can actually read the syntax of a code now, because it's just like, even though the language has changed tremendously since I did it, there's still parts where it's like, okay, I remember what that does. I know what that does.
Yeah, the structure and foundation is still the same.
Yeah, it's just some of the more sophisticated tools I'm clueless on at this point in time, but that's cool.
Yeah, it makes for a nightmare when you try and go research how to do something, because you find out that you're researching something that doesn't apply anymore, because 5 years ago that's how it worked for these web providers, and now it's different.
Well, CSS terrifies me, and it's very graphically, it's really, the user interface is really nice, but if you're trying to fix a syntax error, I don't have a clue. It's just like,
yeah, I haven't even gotten to that part yet.
Yeah,
so.
it's just. Well, I play with my website's on WordPress, so it's one of those things where it's CSS. It's very graphically user interface. The interface is really nice, and you can do some really neat things. But it does have a bit of a nightmare in terms of okay, I have a problem. How do I fix it? Help.
Yeah, I will definitely be relying on the people around me who are offering help. So that's good. I figured at some point I had to learn how to do it myself, at least the basics, so that I can understand and know enough to say, okay, we have to fix something on a page. I can do that right now. I don't have to call somebody and say, hey, do you have time? Oh yeah, schedule. I've got a gap in it. Maybe next week Tuesday, and then you miss out on the opportunity to present a very clean and polished front to the world. I mean, your website is that front face. It's like the front of your store. It really has to. You have to treat it with care.
Well, it's interesting because with me, I find like with myself, it's my Twitter, it's my Instagram and my podcast that gets the most traction. My webpage gets good. My content, it always at this point draws on a regular basis, but I find like it's the least. Maybe it's not the way I should do this, but it's the least developed part of my brand, I guess, for lack of a better term, because it's still very much it's not quite generic, but it's not as polished as it could be.
Right.
So but because I'm too busy doing my Twitter, I'm too busy doing my podcast, I'm too busy doing all these other. Yeah, Ron's right. I got too many fronts. I think that's the problem. I just have too much. I have too much on my plate, and I have to actually figure out what's actually relevant to me. But the thing of it is, presentation's important. I really like my favorite thing I've seen so far is your business cards. That was you, right?
Yep.
That was all you?
Yep.
So design-wise, what was the inspiration for that?
Well, I started designing the covers for the books probably about half a year ago or a year ago, and initially I had been starting to see some really interesting covers that had white backgrounds with a silhouetted figure, and then the silhouette becomes the window to the world that you start to see through the window. And I mean, you do see that fairly regularly. So I wanted to experiment with that, and I knew I was going to be using stock photos. And how do you represent cyberpunk? If you go through stock photos, you find out that science fiction stock photos, it's tough. You got to do a lot of photo manipulation to get something that actually looks half decent, and
it doesn't look cheap. That's actually that's the big problem with science. I had a conversation with another writer, and one of the reasons I get an artist to do unique stuff is because it's dynamic, it's different, and it stands out.
Exactly.
And his argument was the price point, but there's some validity to that, but the thing of it is, I know that when he does his stuff, if people look real close, they'll think he's cheap.
Yeah.
And that's not exactly what you want when you
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and what Ron was saying about how we're decreasing the amount of money that it takes to get off the ground. So I knew I was going to be the one to design the covers. Later on down the road, if things go well and we want to do a relaunch, we want to recover these books, I will definitely be looking at hiring an artist and doing actual art for the covers. But the cost on that, especially on something like 15 books, was not realistic. So the question became, how do you take something that's stock photos that are geared towards things like mysteries and romance, and how do you make those cyberpunk? And I came up with an idea to use the city as the kind of the feature element and to put it into the silhouette of the character. Again, that's very similar to concepts that we've seen before. And I initially tried it, and I was still using stock photos of cities, and it wasn't going very well. And I found this one stock photo piece of art, and it was just painted very, very loosely, still a stock photo, and I was like, perfect. This blends those two worlds. It's going to work. So I took that and I added a background layer with a CG city in the background and used filters to make it look like it was glowing, and then put that into the silhouette. And from that point forward, I just have slowly, every couple of months, I look at it again and I'm like, oh, okay, tweak it, improve it, look at it again, tweak it, improve it, until you have the covers that you see today. The cards were taking just basically the book cover, because of course all of the front work that you do can be a solid foundation for everything you put above it. And that's in fact my concept for pretty much everything I do, is make sure you get it good and right the first time, and that becomes a solid core that you then use as you move upwards through the scale. So then the back of the cards has got the publishing logo and the information about the website, of course, and the series name, and a small call to action, and it just looks very sleek and elegant, and that's matches the brand.
I really like this. Two things. You seriously just take one of these and blow it up.
Oh, that's
no,
the plan.
Blow it up. And then whenever he does a launch, you have one of those above him, because it's
In fact, this one right here is actually going to be the full human size poster.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at all of them right now. The only thing I changed. Maybe hold on. I'm just seeing if let's see it. It's the only thing I changed. Yeah, there's only one. You know what would have been really, 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 really cool? I'm just seeing it if it actually connects together. If that would have been, well, that's, no,
I think we're missing book one.
Yeah, it's okay, but no, like it is a very, like, it's really clever, and honestly, dare I say, original. I mean, even though the idea may have been done thousands of times, you took it and you made it your own, which I think is it's really, really fantastic. I really like them. I like them all. It's really good. My favorite one is this one.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
The one, the Mad Maxian style.
That one is all close second.
Yeah, I love the Raven cover. Is very nice. Book 5's cover.
Actually, okay. That is actually my suggestion. Less dark, more like bright, because it actually fits. It fits the vibe. It fits a certain vibe. This one's okay.
Well, see, that's interesting because they are standalone stories. So the challenge was to pick a cover for the book that helped represent each story in the book itself. So you get these dark ones here are on the third of the ARC trilogies, if you will, and they are very dark books, and they have a very much more of a military science fiction angle to them. So you'll notice the character has a military aesthetic, especially when you put the almost epaulettes on the cyberpunk aesthetics of it. Then you've got your Mad Max style, right?
Which is what I really like about this. I think, the only thing I would say with this is just be careful how dark you go, because you don't want to. It almost feels monotonous. Whereas this, there's almost like, it's a weird thing to talk about color theory like this, but like 4, 5, and 6 have, like, because of the way the colors play off each other, there's a certain vibrancy. Like I can look at the cover and it's like there's a certain like vibrancy to it.
Right.
Whereas this, I mean, again, I get the point. Oppressive war kind of thing is a thing, but it's maybe just a touch too dark.
So that one's the free novella.
Yeah.
So that one doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
You'll never see this on an Amazon shelf.
Yes.
That's really important to remember.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's just one of those really it's just an interesting thing looking at it. It's really cleverly done. Like I mean, really, it's not even a big criticism. It's just something like
For sure.
it's not even a big one. It's like what you did was really smart. It was just the important stuff's in the back. You draw your cards draw people in automatically. I love the tagline. No, it's perfect. You can actually, it feels very good. I just think that the only thing is, I think the color works a lot better with what you're doing than lack of color.
Right. Sure.
That's the only thing. So be very, very careful how dark you get.
For sure.
Yeah. Wow. But honestly, I could learn from you because that's fantastic. That's really, really good. So
thank you.
Yeah.
It is the most important thing for selling books is the cover.
Absolutely. No. I totally agree. It's the one I don't cheap out there. That's the one spot I will not cheap out. I like my book covers. I really like because they stand out, right? And they stand out. And first off, I have a professional. She's really good. Second off, though, like there's a really clear idea of kind of what we're going for here. So I'm kind of curious what we come up with for our third cover because it's the last one, right? So it's like it's got to be something really, really big, but the concept. It'll be interesting to see what she comes up with.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, but no, that's really good. So you got the covers nailed down. You did the design. You did the back matter. I guess you're going to be the one running the social media then at some point.
Well, no, when he gets a Twitter feed, he will be all over that. He'll have fun with that.
I know he will.
It's Twitter, and I already told him this way ages ago, that Twitter would be the best social media platform for him. It matches his style. He can also talk about all of the tech trends that he does a lot of research on.
No, you can do that. Instagram, I would suggest Instagram as well for one cool thing. You can tie it to Twitter really easily, one. And two, when I use my Instagram sparingly, but when I do cons, events, and things like that, you always see really cool things. And I think again, this works for me. It may not work for your partner in crime, but these events are fun. Like, you know what I mean? These events are fun, and I think people respond to the fact that if you're having fun, they are too.
Yes,
that's just general. And that's where Instagram is really strong. But Twitter is just therapy. You just go on Twitter, you can just do like your little 150 tweets, and well, you kind of probably just like you loathe it. No.
I have nothing against it. It's a very, very important tool.
Yeah.
You have to be in a good position to be able to capitalize on that tool. Otherwise, you got to consider where your time's got to go.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. you can't be on Twitter all day either. It's just, but it's just something that it's a good way to create some reach.
Well, I do like Twitter because you don't actually have to be on it all the time for it to work effectively. And in fact, you're better off not being on it all the time. Whereas I have a lot more personal challenge with something like Facebook because it is so much easier to get drawn into that.
Facebook is kind of like, I consider Facebook the television of social media, and that's where a lot of junk is, right? Everybody's got Facebook. I make contacts on Facebook. It's great to do business sometimes on Facebook, and I use that just sometimes. There's just some people you only meet there, but with other people, there's so many memes. There's so many. If there was an alternative to Facebook, I'd take it. I would. I really, really would. It's frightening how much programming is on there. But everybody uses it, so it's kind of like you're kind of stuck with it. So it's like, way it goes. So you write as well.
I do. I haven't lately.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to do much writing when I was working as an acquisitions editor, and I don't have any time right now because, of course, my concept is front-end heavy.
Yeah.
So getting everything established so that it becomes almost like a template. You don't have to do as much work later. So the goal is next year, midway through the year, that's when we will have established a process enough that I can pull the majority of my time off of that, still keep it running, still keep it hot and active, but then I will be switching over to doing my own stuff.
Basically, you've established the water wheel. Now you're just there to get it. Yeah, I get you. No, I totally get where you're going. No, it sounds like you got a plan. It sounds like you got this. I'm not gonna say in the bag, but you're ready for what's coming next. And although I dare say, I know you don't want to be a publisher. All right, I hate to break this to you. You still might end up going there.
You can't know what'll happen. 5-10 years from now, we could see. At this point, definitely not something.
No. At this point, I don't think you want to do it. But it's like this. My dad went to me 3 months ago. So when you start your media company, it's like, shut up. Because I
oh yeah, you're learning the skills that'll help parlay this into something down the road.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, the one that I will say this, one thing about this industry that I'm truly thankful for is it has been an education on so many things. Right? I expected to be doing a podcast. I never expected to learn how to use a camera to upload video. I never expected to learn how to market books. Like I said, I pitched a book today. Someone else's book I did not read. I pitched it better than she did. Right? It was. I was like, but it's something I've acquired.
Yeah, you never stop learning in this business, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about it. I don't think I ever feel more alive than when I'm challenged with learning something new. So that's never going to stop.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, when Mr. Ron here is the big celebrity on TV or on Sirius FM, or you're like, yeah, or maybe I'll call him Mr. Captain GM. I think that'll be I got him to roll his eyes, ladies and gentlemen. This is worth it just right there. But however way he goes, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where you guys are in 2 years. If I had to bet on somebody though, it would be you.
Oh, thank you.
I think you've got the drive, and like I said, I pity the mountain if you have the chisel. I really pity the mountain if you have one with the chisel. So, I mean, so do you have a website, or is it going to be the same thing as his?
It's going to be the same as his. So the thing is, because I'm not actually looking for clients at all right now, there's no room for clients in my life. But I still, that's probably going to come in the future. Ron's books become the litmus test or the proof of concept. So anytime somebody wants to research me, they can go find him first, and I am quite happy with that.
Okay, so what we will do here, we'll do two things. You're going to say the website again for him, because this will be a separate episode, so we might as well just have it on both, all right? And then if someone wants to find you, because they probably should at some point, they have to contact you even to help with him, how would they do so?
All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the cyberdeck.com, which is the official site of Ron Bender and the new White Sands City Cyberpunk series. You're going to want to go to the contact page, and you'll actually notice on the contact page you'll have Ron's name for the author, Alpha Tech Global Publications for the self-publishing business, and my name as the editor and publicist. And if you enter a question or comment in that field, I will get that email directly.
Fair enough. All right. I'm going to say this both of you on the air. You guys have a very ambitious plan. I'm really hoping for both of you it goes really, really well. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes from there.
Thank you very, very much.
Put your pants on, it's the cops.
All right, there's that.
And that was Ella Beaumont once again. I thank her very much for taking the opportunity to come on my show, talk about her new career. I wish her the best of luck. And if you want to support Ella, you should first check out the World Wide Web thecyberdeck.com, TheCyberdeck.com. There you will find the new White Sands City Cyberpunk series being launched. If you join the mailing list, you get their first novella, Snitch, exclusively from the mailing list, from her significant other, Ron Bender, who will be actually my guest as well this week, and then we'll talk more about the books and the fact that we had a pantsless podcast. That's right, the podcast was pantsless. We'll leave it at that. But beyond all that, check out Snitch when you join the mailing list, and check out Shadows Fall, book 1 of the series, coming out soon. It's going to be really, really cool. I can't wait. You can also, on Sundays, check out Right Club in Calgary, based off Waves in Springboro Drive. More information can be found. Just look up Calgary Right Club on your all-powerful Google. Beyond all that, yeah, this is another episode just joshing. If you want to support the show for year 2, buy my book, Storm Dancer or the Watcher. Buy the merchandise you hear in the advertisements. Support my clients, Craig DeLuey and Chris Mars, one way or the other. Support the authors and other celebrities that are interviewed here. And above all else, stay inspired with what you do. And I hope my thoughts on fear today got you thinking at the very least. I'm Joshua Penteleresco, and I'll see you next time.
Josh.